Hello and welcome to this special comprehensive edition of English in Fluency. I am your host, Alex, and I am so happy to have you here with me today. Do you ever feel like you are just too busy to learn English? Do you feel like you need hours and hours of free time to sit down with a textbook, but your life is just too full of work, family, and responsibilities? If you are nodding your head yes, then this episode is exactly what you need. Today, we are going to talk about a very special concept called small time, big progress. We are going to discover how you can master the English language not by studying for 5 hours on a Sunday, but by using the small, hidden moments of your daily life. These are the moments between your tasks, the moments when you are waiting, or the moments when you are doing simple things like making tea or walking to the bus stop. To help us practice, we are going to follow the life of a man named Julian. Julian is just like you and me. He has a busy job, he has friends, and he often feels tired. But Julian has found a way to see his world in English. Through his story, we will practice listening, learn new vocabulary, and understand how to turn your daily routine into a classroom. Are you ready to step into Julian's world and improve your listening skills? Let's begin. Imagine it is early morning. The sun is not fully up yet, and the sky is a soft, dark blue. Inside a small apartment, the sound of an alarm clock breaks the silence. Beep, beep, beep. Julian reaches out his hand and presses the button to stop the noise. He sits up in bed and stretches his arms high above his head. He feels a little groggy, which means he feels sleepy and slow because he just woke up. Listen to that word again. Groggy. It is a great word to describe how you feel at 6 in the morning. Julian puts his feet on the cool floor and walks to the kitchen. This is our first daily moment. It is the routine of making coffee. Julian fills the kettle with water and turns it on. While the water heats up, he looks out the window. He sees his neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, walking her dog. The dog is a small, energetic terrier that is pulling on the leash. Julian smiles. He thinks to himself, "That dog has so much energy for such an early hour." Now, pay attention to the grammar here. Julian is observing something happening right now, so we use the present continuous tense. The dog is pulling. Mrs. Patterson is walking. When you are making your breakfast tomorrow, I want you to try this. Look at what is happening around you and describe it in your head using ing words. The water is boiling. The toast is popping up. The butter is melting. The kettle clicks off. The water is ready. Julian pours the hot water over the coffee grounds. The smell of the coffee is strong and rich. It wakes him up more than the alarm clock did. He takes his favorite mug, which is blue with a white handle, and adds a splash of milk. A splash is a very small amount of liquid. It is a useful word when you are cooking or preparing drinks. You might add a splash of lemon to your tea, or a splash of oil to a frying pan. Julian takes a sip. It is perfect. He takes a deep breath and prepares for the day. He does not rush. He takes just 2 minutes to enjoy the silence before the noise of the day begins. This is a moment of calm. Now, Julian is ready to leave the house. He puts on his coat and grabs his bag. He walks to the bus stop. This brings us to our second story of the day, the commute. A commute is the journey you take from your home to your work. For many people, the commute is boring and stressful. But for an English learner, the commute is a gold mine. A gold mine is a place where you can find something very valuable. Julian arrives at the bus stop and sees that there are already 3 people waiting. He checks his watch. The bus is 2 minutes late. He feels a little impatient, but he decides to use this time to listen. Standing next to him are 2 university students. They are talking about their weekend plans. Julian does not stare at them, because that would be rude, but he listens to the rhythm of their voices. One student says, "I am thinking about going to the cinema tonight, but I have to finish my essay first." The other student laughs and says, "You always leave your work until the last minute." Let's break that down. The first student used the phrase "thinking about." This is a very natural way to talk about future plans that are not 100% sure yet. I am thinking about buying a new car. I am thinking about cooking pasta. Try to say it with me. I am thinking about going out. The bus finally arrives with a loud hiss of the brakes. The doors open, and the passengers step inside. Julian taps his travel card on the reader and finds a seat near the window. The bus is crowded today. Crowded means there are many people and not much space. The bus moves through the city traffic. Julian looks out the window and describes what he sees in his mind. He sees a red car turning left. He sees a woman running to catch a taxi. He sees a shopkeeper opening the shutters of his bakery. By doing this, Julian is connecting the English words to the real images he sees. He is not translating from his native language. He is labeling the world in English. Suddenly, the bus stops unexpectedly. The driver speaks over the intercom. The voice is a bit scratchy and hard to hear. The driver says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are being held up by some roadworks ahead. We should be moving again in about 5 minutes. Thank you for your patience." Did you catch that? Roadworks. This means construction or repairs are happening on the street. And the phrase "held up" is a phrasal verb that means delayed. If you are late for a meeting, you can say, "I am sorry I am late. I was held up in traffic." It is a very professional and common way to apologize for a delay. Julian takes a deep breath. He cannot change the traffic, so he decides to relax. He pulls a book out of his bag and reads a few pages. He turns a frustrating moment into a learning moment. Julian finally arrives at his office. He works in a large building with glass windows. He walks into the lobby and presses the button for the elevator. When the doors open, he sees his colleague, Liam. Liam looks a little stressed. He is holding a stack of papers and a cup of coffee that looks like it might spill. Julian smiles and says, "Good morning, Liam. Let me hold the door for you." Liam rushes in and sighs. "Thanks, Julian," he says. "The printer on the 3rd floor is broken again, and I have a meeting in 10 minutes. I had to run down to the 1st floor to print these. Here we have a workplace problem. The printer is broken. This is a common situation." Listen to how Liam explained it. He used the past tense "had to run" because the action is finished, but he is still feeling the stress of it. Julian replies, "That sounds stressful. Do you need any help preparing the room?" Liam smiles, looking relieved. Relieved means he feels happy that the stress is going away. He says, "Actually, if you could just check if the projector is working, that would be a lifesaver." A lifesaver. We do not mean Julian is actually saving his life, like a doctor. In casual English, we call someone a lifesaver when they help us with a big problem. You can say this to a friend who lends you money for lunch, or a stranger who helps you find directions. You are a lifesaver. Julian goes to the meeting room and turns on the projector. It hums quietly, and a blue light appears on the screen. It works perfectly. Liam arrives a moment later, looking much calmer. They have the meeting, and it goes well. This shows us that simple English interactions at work are often about offering help and solving small problems. You do not need complex vocabulary to be a good colleague. You just need to be polite and willing to assist. Phrases like, "Can I help you with that?" or "Do you need a hand?" are very powerful. It is now lunchtime. Julian steps out of the office to get some fresh air. He walks to a nearby sandwich shop called the Green Deli. It is a popular place, and the line is long. While he waits, he looks at the menu written on a chalkboard on the wall. There are so many choices: turkey and cheese, roast beef, tuna salad, and grilled vegetables. When it is Julian's turn, the worker behind the counter asks, "What can I get for you today?" Julian answers clearly, "I would like the grilled vegetable sandwich on whole wheat bread, please." The worker asks, "Would you like that toasted?" Toasted means heated up, so the bread becomes brown and crispy. Julian nods. "Yes, please. And could I have a bottle of water as well?" This interaction is short, but it follows a specific pattern. The question, "What can I get for you?" and the polite answer, "I would like." Notice that Julian does not say, "I want." Saying "I want" can sound a little bit demanding or like a child. "I would like" is much softer and more polite. After he gets his food, Julian sits on a bench in a nearby park. The sun is shining now, and the birds are singing. He takes a bite of his sandwich. It is crunchy and delicious. He watches a group of children playing with a ball. One child kicks the ball too hard, and it rolls near Julian's feet. Julian stands up and gently kicks the ball back to them. The child waves and shouts, "Thank you." Julian waves back. It is a small interaction, but it makes him feel connected to the people around him. The afternoon passes quickly at work. Julian sends some emails, answers a few phone calls, and organizes his files. Before he knows it, it is 5:30 p.m. It is time to go home. He says goodbye to Liam and his other colleagues. "See you tomorrow. Have a good evening," he says. This is a standard farewell, simple and friendly. On his way home, Julian remembers that he needs to buy some groceries. He stops at the supermarket. Supermarkets are excellent places for English practice because everything has a label. Julian pushes his cart through the automatic doors. The air inside is cool and smells of fresh fruit. He walks to the produce section. Produce refers to fresh fruits and vegetables. He picks up a red apple and checks it for bruises. A bruise on a fruit is a soft brown spot that shows it is damaged. The apple looks perfect, so he puts it in a bag. He needs to buy ingredients for dinner. He plans to make a simple pasta dish with tomato sauce. He finds the aisle for pasta. An aisle is the long walkway between the shelves. He scans the shelves. Spaghetti, penne, fusilli. He chooses a box of penne. Next, he needs garlic and onions. He finds them and puts them in the cart. Then, he goes to the dairy section to get some Parmesan cheese. While he is looking at the cheese, a woman standing next to him asks a question. "Excuse me, do you know where I can find the almond milk?" Julian knows where it is because he saw it earlier. He smiles and points to the left. "Yes, it is in the next aisle, right next to the yogurts." The woman smiles. "Thank you so much," she says. Julian feels good. He understood the question instantly and was able to give clear directions. This is the goal of learning English. It is not just about passing a test. It is about being helpful and connecting with people. Julian pays for his groceries at the self-checkout machine. The machine speaks to him. Please scan your item. Please place the item in the bagging area. Listening to these automated voices is also good practice. They are usually very clear and slow. Julian packs his bag and walks out of the store. The sky is getting dark now. The streetlights are turning on, casting a warm orange glow on the sidewalk. He walks the final blocks to his apartment. When he gets inside, he takes off his shoes and washes his hands. He is tired, but it is a good kind of tired. He puts on some soft music and starts to cook. He chops the onions and the garlic. Chopping is the action of cutting food into small pieces with a knife. He heats some olive oil in a pan. When the oil is hot, he adds the onions. They make a sizzling sound. Sizzle. That is the sound of food frying in hot oil. It is a wonderful sound. The kitchen begins to smell delicious. He adds the tomatoes and lets the sauce simmer. To simmer means to cook something gently over low heat, so it bubbles just a little bit. While the sauce is simmering, Julian calls his friend, Marcus. Marcus lives in a different city, so they try to talk once a week. The phone rings 3 times before Marcus picks up. "Hey, Julian, how are you?" Marcus asks. Julian puts the phone on speaker so he can keep cooking. "I am doing well, Marcus. Just making some dinner. How was your day?" They talk for 20 minutes. They talk about their jobs, a movie Marcus saw recently, and their plans for the summer. This is casual conversation. It is fast and full of idioms and jokes. Julian laughs when Marcus tells him a funny story about his cat. This conversation is different from the one with the bus driver or the shop worker. With a friend, you can relax. You can use slang. You can interrupt each other. Julian tells Marcus about the printer breaking at work. "Oh man, that is the worst," Marcus says. The worst is a common phrase to show sympathy when something annoying happens. After the call, Julian sits down at his small table to eat his pasta. He does not watch TV. He just focuses on the food and the quiet of the evening. He thinks about the words he used today: groggy, splash, commute, roadworks, lifesaver, simmer. After dinner, Julian washes the dishes. He dries the plate and puts it away in the cupboard. He is ready to relax for the rest of the evening. He sits on his comfortable sofa and turns on the television. He decides to watch a sitcom in English. A sitcom is a situation comedy, a funny show with short episodes. He puts the subtitles on, but he tries not to read them all the time. He listens to the actors. He laughs when the audience laughs. Even if he does not understand every single word, he understands the context. Context is the general situation that helps you understand the meaning. If a character is crying and holding a broken vase, the context tells you she is sad about the accident, even if you do not understand her sentences perfectly. Finally, it is time for bed. Julian turns off the lights in the living room and goes to the bathroom to brush his teeth. He looks at himself in the mirror. He looks tired, but happy. He goes to his bedroom and pulls back the covers of his bed. The sheets feel cool and soft. He lies down and closes his eyes. He reflects on his day. It was a normal day. Nothing extraordinary happened, but he lived his day fully. He engaged with the world. But life is not just about working in daily routines, is it? To truly master English, you need to be able to handle the weekends, the social events, and the unexpected adventures. So, let's continue our journey and rejoin Julian on a Saturday morning. The vocabulary here will be different. It will be more relaxed, more descriptive, and focused on hobbies, travel, and socializing. It is Saturday morning. Unlike Friday, there is no alarm clock today. Julian wakes up naturally at 9 a.m. This is called sleeping in. To sleep in means to sleep later than you usually do, usually on a weekend or holiday. It feels wonderful. The room is filled with bright yellow sunlight. Julian stretches and feels well rested. He gets out of bed and decides that today is a day for getting things done around the house before he goes out. We often call these chores. Chores are the small jobs you have to do to keep your house clean and organized. Julian walks into his living room and sees a pile of clothes on the chair. He sighs. I need to sort this out, he thinks. Sort out is a phrasal verb. It means to organize or fix a messy situation. He picks up the clothes and separates them. The white shirts go in one pile, and the dark colors go in another. He puts them in the washing machine. He adds the detergent. Detergent is the soap you use for laundry. He presses the start button and hears the water rushing in. While the machine is running, Julian decides to vacuum the rug. He pulls the vacuum cleaner out of the closet. It makes a loud roaring sound as he pushes it back and forth. He is cleaning, but he is also thinking in English. He says to himself, I am vacuuming the dust under the sofa. I am making the room tidy. Tidy is another word for clean and organized. After his chores are finished, Julian feels productive. Productive means he feels good because he completed useful work. He makes a quick breakfast of toast and jam and then checks his phone. He has a message from his friend, Sarah. The message says, Hey Julian, are you still up for the farmer's market today? Let's meet at 11 o'clock. Julian types back, Definitely. See you there. The phrase up for is very common in casual English. If someone asks, Are you up for a movie? They are asking, Do you want to go to a movie? Or, Do you have the energy for a movie? It is a great phrase to use with friends. Julian gets dressed in casual clothes, jeans and a comfortable sweater, and leaves the apartment. The air outside is different today. It is Saturday, so the traffic is lighter, and people seem more relaxed. He walks to the town square where the farmer's market is held every week. A farmer's market is an outdoor market where local farmers sell fresh food directly to people. It is usually fresher and tastier than the supermarket. As Julian approaches the market, he hears the buzz of conversation. He smells fresh bread and sweet strawberries. He sees colorful tents set up in rows. This is a feast for the senses. He meets Sarah near the entrance. Sarah is a cheerful woman with curly hair. She gives Julian a hug. Hi, I am so glad you could make it, she says. You could make it means you were able to come. Julian smiles. Me too. I need some fresh vegetables for the week. They walk together through the market. They stop at a stall selling cheese. A stall is a small temporary shop at a market. The cheese seller is a friendly man with a mustache. Would you like to try a sample? He asks. A sample is a small piece of food given for free so you can taste it. Julian nods. Yes, please. I would love to try the sharp cheddar. Sharp, when talking about cheese, means it has a strong, tangy flavor. It is not mild. Julian tastes it. It is delicious. I will take a block of that, please, he says. Next, they go to a fruit stall. The fruit looks beautiful. There are piles of shiny apples, fuzzy peaches, and large watermelons. Sarah picks up a peach and smells it. This smells ripe, she says. Ripe means the fruit is ready to eat. If it is hard and green, it is unripe. If it is too soft and brown, it is overripe or rotten. Sarah buys 3 peaches. Julian buys a bag of spinach and some carrots. He notices that the carrots still have the dirt on them. This shows they were pulled from the ground very recently. While they are walking, Sarah asks Julian, "So, have you heard back about that promotion at work?" Julian shakes his head. "Not yet. My boss said she would let me know by Monday. I am keeping my fingers crossed." Keeping my fingers crossed is an idiom. It means hoping for good luck. You can even physically cross your fingers when you say it. Sarah smiles. "I am sure you will get it. You work so hard." After the market, Julian and Sarah decide to grab a coffee. To grab a coffee is casual slang. It does not mean to snatch it aggressively. It just means to go and buy one quickly and casually. They find a small cafe with tables outside. The sun is warm, so they sit outside. A waiter comes to their table. "What can I get for you?" he asks. Sarah orders a cappuccino, and Julian orders an iced tea. They sit and talk for an hour. They talk about travel. Sarah is planning a trip to Italy next month. "I am so excited," she says. "I have booked my flights, but I still need to find accommodation." Accommodation is a formal word for a place to stay, like a hotel, a hostel, or an Airbnb. Julian asks, "Are you going to stay in the city or the countryside?" Sarah replies, "I want to stay in the countryside. I want to see the vineyards and the olive trees." Vineyards are farms where grapes are grown to make wine. Julian listens carefully. He imagines the Italian countryside. He asks questions to keep the conversation going. "That sounds amazing. Do you speak any Italian?" Sarah laughs. "Only a little bit. I know how to say hello and thank you. I am using an app to learn more." Julian nods. "That is a good idea. Learning a few local phrases is always polite." Eventually, they finish their drinks. Sarah looks at her watch. "Oh, look at the time. I have to run. I promised my sister I would help her paint her living room." "I have to run" is a polite way to say, "I have to leave now." They stand up. Julian insists on paying the bill. "It is my treat," he says. "It is my treat," or "it is on me" means I will pay for both of us. Sarah smiles. "That is very sweet of you." "Thank you, Julian." They say goodbye, and Julian walks back home. When he gets home, he puts his groceries away. He feels energized by the fresh air and the social interaction. But the day is not over yet. Tonight, Julian is hosting a small dinner party. Hosting means he is inviting people to his house and cooking for them. He invited 3 friends, Marcus, who we met on the phone yesterday, and a couple named Elena and David. Julian starts to prepare. He cleans the bathroom and puts fresh towels out. He sets the table. He puts down a tablecloth, plates, forks, and knives. He wants everything to look nice. He decides to cook a roasted chicken with vegetables. It is a classic dish. He seasons the chicken with herbs, rosemary, and thyme. Herbs are plants used to add flavor to food. He puts the chicken in the oven. At 7 p.m., the doorbell rings. Ding dong. Julian opens the door. It is Marcus. "Hey, come in, come in," Julian says warmly. Marcus walks in holding a bottle of wine. "I brought this for you," Marcus says. "It is a red blend. I hope you like it." Julian smiles. "Thank you. That is very thoughtful." Thoughtful means kind and considering the feelings of others. Please, make yourself at home. This is a key phrase. Make yourself at home means relax and feel comfortable, as if this were your house. A few minutes later, Elena and David arrive. They apologize for being late. "Sorry we are late," Elena says. The traffic was a nightmare. A nightmare usually means a bad dream, but in conversation, we use it to describe a very difficult or annoying situation. Finding parking was a nightmare. The exam was a nightmare. Julian waves his hand. No worries at all. You are here now. Can I get you a drink? They all sit in the living room and chat. David notices a painting on Julian's wall. It is a painting of a stormy ocean. That is a beautiful painting, David says. Where did you get it? Julian explains, I bought it at a street market when I was on holiday in Portugal. It reminds me of the sea. They talk about art for a while. David is an architect, so he knows a lot about design. An architect is someone who designs buildings. He uses words like structure, light, and perspective. Julian listens and learns. Dinner is ready. Julian brings the roasted chicken to the table. It looks golden and crispy. Everyone says, "Wow, that looks amazing." They sit down to eat. Julian carves the chicken. To carve means to cut a large piece of meat into slices. He serves everyone. Dig in, he says. Dig in is a casual way to say, start eating. During dinner, the conversation flows easily. They talk about movies. Elena recently saw a documentary about penguins. It was so moving, she says. I actually cried at the end. Moving means it caused a strong emotional reaction. Marcus disagrees. Really? I thought it was a bit slow. I prefer action movies. They debate playfully. A debate is a discussion where people have different opinions, but here it is friendly. Suddenly, David accidentally knocks over his glass of water. The water spills onto the tablecloth. Oh no, I am so clumsy, David says. Clumsy means someone who drops things or falls often. Julian stands up quickly. It is okay. Don't worry about it. It is just water. He runs to the kitchen and grabs a cloth. He dabs the spill. To dab means to press a cloth gently, not rubbing it hard. The accident is over in 10 seconds. Julian makes sure David does not feel bad. This happens to everyone, Julian says with a smile. After dinner, they decide to play a board game. Board games are games like Monopoly or Scrabble that you play on a table. They choose a game where you have to guess words. It is very funny. Marcus is very competitive. Competitive means he really wants to win. He shouts the answers loud. Elena is more laid back. Laid back means relaxed and easygoing. They laugh a lot. The room is filled with laughter and warmth. At around 11 p.m., the guests decide it is time to leave. It is getting late, David says. We should head out. Head out is a phrasal verb for leave. They put on their coats. Thank you for a wonderful evening, Elena says. The food was fantastic. Julian walks them to the door. I am so glad you came. Get home safe. This is a standard thing to say when people leave at night. Get home safe. Julian closes the door. The apartment is quiet again. He looks at the empty plates and glasses. He feels tired, but a happy kind of tired. He spends 20 minutes cleaning up. He puts the dishes in the dishwasher. He wipes the table. Then he turns off the lights. This Saturday showed us a different side of English. We moved away from the office and the commute, and into the world of friendship and hospitality. But Julian's weekend is not over. Sunday is going to be a day for adventure. Julian has decided to take a day trip out of the city. He wants to visit a historic castle about 2 hours away by train. This will introduce us to travel vocabulary and historical descriptions. Sunday morning arrives. It is raining slightly. This is called a drizzle. It is not heavy rain, just a light mist. Julian packs a backpack. He packs a raincoat, a bottle of water, his camera, and a guidebook. He walks to the train station. The station is a busy place. It echoes with the sound of announcements and rolling suitcases. Julian goes to the ticket machine. He selects round trip. A round-trip ticket means you go there and come back. A one-way ticket means you only go there. He pays with his card and takes the orange paper ticket. He looks at the departure board. His train to Dover Castle is on platform 9. He walks through the gates and down the stairs to the platform. The train arrives on time. It is a sleek, modern train. Julian finds his seat. He reserved a seat by the window. Reserving a seat is important on weekends when trains are busy. The train pulls out of the station. Julian watches the city disappear. The tall buildings are replaced by small houses and then by green fields. He sees cows grazing in the fields. Grazing means eating grass. He sees a river winding through the valley. After 2 hours, the train arrives. Julian steps out into a small town. The air is fresher here. He follows the signs that point to the castle. It is a steep walk up a hill. Steep means the angle is high. It is difficult to climb. Julian breathes heavily, but he enjoys the exercise. When he reaches the top, the view is spectacular. Spectacular means very, very beautiful. He can see the whole town below and the ocean in the distance. He walks towards the castle entrance. The castle is ancient. It is made of gray stone. It has tall towers and thick walls. Julian buys a ticket and enters. He walks through the great hall. He reads the signs on the wall. This castle was built in the 12th century, the sign says. It was used to defend the coast from invaders. Invaders are enemies who try to enter a country to take control. Julian imagines what life was like back then. No electricity, no heating, just stone and fire. He sees a display of old weapons. There are swords, shields, and bows. He takes out his camera and snaps a few photos. He focuses on the texture of the stone and the light coming through the narrow windows. A tour guide is speaking to a group of tourists nearby. Julian listens in. To listen in means to listen to a conversation you are not part of. The guide says, "If you look up, you can see the original wooden beams of the roof. They are over 800 years old." Julian looks up. It is amazing that wood can last that long. After exploring the castle, Julian goes to the castle gift shop. Gift shops are always at the end of museums or tourist sites. They sell souvenirs. Souvenirs are small items you buy to remember a trip, like magnets, keychains, or postcards. Julian buys a postcard for his mother. He plans to write to her later. He walks back down the hill to the town. He finds a traditional pub for lunch. A pub is a casual place that serves drinks and food. It feels cozy inside. There is a fire burning in the fireplace. Julian orders fish and chips. It is a traditional British meal. Fried fish in batter served with thick French fries. It comes with a side of mushy peas. He eats slowly, enjoying the warmth of the pub while the rain drizzles outside. He looks around the pub. There are locals sitting at the bar, chatting with the bartender. One man has a dog sleeping at his feet. It feels like a community. Julian thinks, this is the heart of the culture. Not just the big monuments, but these small, quiet places where people gather. Julian checks the train schedule on his phone. There is a train back to the city in 40 minutes. He pays his bill and walks back to the station. On the train ride home, he feels sleepy. The rhythm of the train, clack, 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 is hypnotic. Hypnotic means it makes you feel like you are in a trance or want to sleep. He closes his eyes for a short nap. When he wakes up, he is back in the city. The lights of the skyscrapers are shining. He takes the bus back to his apartment. He is tired, but he feels enriched. Enriched means he feels he has gained value or knowledge. He unlocked a new part of the world today. He navigated a train station, he learned history, and he ordered food in a new place. He arrives home, takes a hot shower, and sits down at his desk. He takes out the postcard he bought. He writes, "Dear Mom, I visited a beautiful castle today. The history was fascinating. I wish you could have seen the view from the tower. Love, Julian." He puts a stamp on it. He will mail it tomorrow. So, we have seen Julian's weekday and his weekend. But life is not always a smooth ride. A smooth ride means an easy journey without problems. Real life has bumps in the road. Real life has misunderstandings, difficult conversations, and high-pressure situations. Today, we are going to look at how to fix a problem with a friend and how to handle a professional success at work. It is Sunday evening. Julian has just returned from his trip to the castle. He is feeling relaxed. He sits down on his sofa and checks his phone. He sees a text message from his friend Marcus. Remember Marcus? He was the friend at the dinner party. Julian opens the message, expecting a joke or a thank you. But the message is short and serious. It says, "I was waiting for you at the gym for 30 minutes today. You said you would help me with my training." What happened? Julian's stomach drops. This is a physical sensation we get when we feel sudden guilt or fear. His stomach drops because he completely forgot. It slipped my mind. This is a crucial idiom. When something slips your mind, it means you forgot it, but not on purpose. It was an accident. Julian realizes he made a promise to Marcus at the dinner party, but he didn't write it down. Now, he faces a conflict. He has two choices. He could ignore the text and reply tomorrow, or he could face the problem immediately. Julian knows that in English culture, and in many cultures, avoiding the problem makes it worse. He decides to call Marcus. Typing a text is easy, but a voice call shows more respect. It takes courage. Courage is the ability to do something even if you are afraid or nervous. The phone rings. Marcus answers, and his voice sounds cool. Cool here does not mean popular or cold temperature. It means he is distant and unfriendly. "Hello," Marcus says. Julian speaks immediately. "Marcus, I am so incredibly sorry. I completely forgot about our gym session. It slipped my mind entirely. I know you were waiting, and I feel terrible about wasting your time." Listen to the structure of that apology. First, he admits the mistake. "I forgot." Second, he uses an idiom to explain. "It slipped my mind." Third, he acknowledges Marcus's feelings. "I know you were waiting." And fourth, he expresses his own regret. "I feel terrible." This is a perfect apology. Marcus sighs on the other end of the line. "I was annoyed, Julian. I really needed a spotter for the weights today." A spotter is someone who helps you lift heavy weights safely at the gym. Julian replies, "I understand completely. There is no excuse. How can I make it up to you?" This phrase, "make it up to you," means, "How can I fix this?" or "What can I do to balance the situation?" Marcus pauses. The anger is leaving his voice. "Well," Marcus says, "you can buy me lunch next time we hang out." Julian laughs, relieved. "Deal. Lunch is on me, and I promise I will put it in my calendar next time." They talk for another minute, and the friendship is back to normal. This scene teaches us that mistakes happen. But if you own your mistake and apologize clearly, You can save the relationship. Now, let's move to Monday morning. The weekend is over. Julian wakes up, drinks his coffee, and heads to the office. Today feels different. Remember, he is waiting for news about a promotion. A promotion is when you move to a higher position in your job, usually with more money and more responsibility. He arrives at his desk. He opens his email. There is a message from his boss, Ms. Henderson. The subject line says, "Meeting regarding your role." Julian feels a flutter in his chest. We often call this having butterflies in your stomach. It means he is nervous and excited at the same time. He walks to Ms. Henderson's office. The door is open. She smiles and waves him in. "Good morning, Julian. Please, take a seat." Ms. Henderson is a professional woman who speaks very clear, formal English. Listening to her is great practice for business situations. She folds her hands on her desk. "Julian," she begins, "I have been reviewing your performance over the last year. You have consistently met your targets, and your project management skills have improved significantly. Let's look at that vocabulary. Reviewing your performance means checking how well you have worked. Consistently means you do it well all the time, not just sometimes. Targets are the goals the company sets for you." Ms. Henderson continues, "Because of this, I would like to offer you the position of senior team leader." Julian smiles. This is the moment he has been waiting for. But he must remain professional. He cannot just jump up and scream, "Yahoo!" In a business meeting, you must stay composed. Composed means calm and in control. Julian nods and says, "Thank you, Ms. Henderson. I am very honored to be considered for this role. I really enjoy working with the team here." Ms. Henderson nods. "The role comes with a salary increase of 10%, and you would be responsible for training the new interns. Are you up for the challenge?" Here is that phrase again. Up for. Are you ready for it? Julian maintains eye contact. Eye contact is very important in Western business culture. It shows confidence and honesty. "Yes," Julian says firmly. "I am up for the challenge. I have some ideas on how to improve our workflow, and I am eager to get started." Workflow creates a picture of how work moves from one person to another. Improving workflow means making the team faster and more efficient. Ms. Henderson hands him a document. "Excellent. Here is the new contract. Please look it over and sign it when you are ready." Julian leaves the office holding the contract. He feels a sense of achievement. Achievement is the feeling of success after hard work. He goes back to his desk, but now the office looks different to him. He is not just an employee anymore. He is a leader. This shift in perspective is important. He looks at the interns, the young students working for experience. He thinks, "I am going to help them. I am going to be a mentor." A mentor is a trusted teacher or guide. Later that afternoon, Julian has to lead his first small meeting. He is no longer just listening. He is speaking. He stands at the head of the table. He feels a little nervous, but he remembers the visualization techniques. He breathes in. He starts the meeting. "Okay, everyone, let's get started. The agenda for today is the upcoming marketing campaign." Agenda is a list of things to discuss in a meeting. It is a very common business word. "Does everyone have a copy of the agenda?" Julian asks. His colleagues nod. Julian continues, "I want to brainstorm some new ideas. No idea is a bad idea. Let's just throw some thoughts out there." To brainstorm means to think of many ideas quickly and creatively, without judging them. It is like a storm in your brain. One colleague, Sarah, not the Sarah from the market, a different Sarah at work, raises her hand. "I think we should use more video content," she says. Julian nods encouragingly. "That is a great point, Sarah. Video is very engaging. Can you expand on that?" Expand on that means tell me more or give me more details. It is a professional way to ask for explanation. The meeting goes well. Julian realizes that leading is about listening. It is about encouraging others to speak. He uses phrases like, "That is a valid point," "Let's circle back to that later," and "Let's wrap this up." Wrap this up means to finish the meeting. It comes from wrapping a present. You are finishing the package. At 5 p.m., Julian packs his bag. He walks out of the building. The air feels lighter. He calls his mother to tell her the good news. "Hi, Mom," he says. "I got the job." His mother screams with joy on the phone. "Oh, Julian, I am so proud of you. You worked so hard for this." Hearing his mother's voice makes him feel emotional. He feels grateful. Grateful means he wants to say thank you to the universe, to his parents, and to his friends. He decides to treat himself. To treat yourself means to do something special for yourself as a reward. He goes to a nice restaurant for dinner, but this time he goes alone. He wants to reflect. To reflect means to think deeply about the past and the future. He orders a steak and a glass of sparkling water. He sits by the window and watches the city. He thinks about how far he has come. A few years ago, he was an intern. He was shy. He didn't know how to speak in meetings. Now, he is a senior team leader. He realizes that progress is slow. It happens day by day. It is the same with learning English. You might feel like you are not improving. You might feel stuck. But if you look back at where you were a year ago, you will see the difference. You know more words. You understand more accents. You are less afraid to speak. Julian takes a notebook out of his bag. He likes to write down his goals. Writing down goals makes them more real. He writes, Goal 1, successfully train the new interns. Goal 2, save money for a new apartment. Goal 3, improve my public speaking skills. Let's look at public speaking. This is the skill of speaking in front of a group of people. It is the #1 fear for many people, even native speakers. If you are afraid of speaking English in public, you are not alone. Julian is afraid too. But he knows that the only way to get better is to do it. Julian finishes his dinner and pays the bill. The waiter asks, "Was everything to your satisfaction, sir?" This is a very formal waiter phrase. Julian smiles. "Yes, it was excellent. Thank you." He leaves a tip. A tip is the extra money you leave for the service. In some countries, tipping is mandatory. In others, it is not. In Julian's city, it is polite to leave about 15%. He walks home under the streetlights. He feels tired but satisfied. He faced a conflict with Marcus and solved it. He faced a challenge at work and accepted it. He is growing. This is what we call personal development. It is the process of becoming a better, stronger, and wiser person. Julian is back in his apartment now. He is getting ready for bed. He puts his new contract on his desk. It represents his future. He turns off the lamp. The room goes dark. He falls asleep quickly, dreaming of the new challenges ahead. Time moves forward. It is a few weeks later. Julian is sitting in his favorite armchair on a Sunday evening. The apartment is quiet. The rain is tapping gently against the window pane. A window pane is the glass part of the window. Julian has his notebook open on his lap. He is not writing a grocery list today. He is not writing a to-do list for work. He is writing a 5-year plan. A 5-year plan is a document where you write down your big dreams. It helps you stay focused on the long term. Julian writes the date at the top of the page. He thinks about where he wants to be. He clicks his pen. Click, click. He writes a heading. Financial goals. Under this, he writes, I am going to save enough money for a down payment on a house. Let's look at that vocabulary. A down payment is the first large chunk of money you pay when you buy a house. The rest of the money usually comes from a bank loan, which we call a mortgage. Julian dreams of having a house with a small garden. He wants to grow his own vegetables, just like the ones he saw at the farmer's market. Notice the grammar he used. I am going to. We use going to when we have a solid plan or an intention. It is not just a guess. It is a decision. Julian looks at his bank account app on his phone. He sets up a monthly transfer. Every month, money will move automatically to his savings account. He is taking action. Next, he writes a new heading. Travel goals. He writes, I hope to visit Canada and see the Rocky Mountains. He uses hope to because this is a wish. It is not fully planned yet. He imagines standing by a bright blue lake with tall, snowy mountains behind him. He imagines speaking English with the Canadians. He knows they are famous for being friendly. He imagines sitting in a diner in Vancouver, ordering pancakes and maple syrup. He thinks about the vocabulary he will need. Hiking boots, trail, wildlife, scenery. He smiles. The dream motivates him to keep learning. Then, he writes the most important heading, personal growth. Under this, he writes, I will be fluent in English. Notice he uses will. This is a strong prediction. He believes it. But what does fluent mean to Julian? It does not mean knowing every word in the dictionary. That is impossible even for native speakers. To Julian, fluency means freedom. It means he can walk into any room, anywhere in the world, and understand what is happening. It means he can make jokes. It means he can express his true personality, not just a simplified version of himself. Julian realizes that to reach this level, he cannot stop. He cannot say, okay, I learned enough today, and then stop for a month. Language is like a muscle. If you stop going to the gym, your muscles get smaller. If you stop using English, your vocabulary fades away. This is called atrophy. It is a medical word, but we use it for skills too. Julian decides to make a promise to himself. He promises to maintain his small-time, big-progress routine forever. He looks back at his day. Did he do his small moments today? Yes. When he was making coffee, he listened to a podcast for 5 minutes. When he was on the train, he read 2 pages of a book. When he was in the shower, he practiced explaining his new job to an imaginary friend. These tiny moments cost him 0 extra time. He was already making coffee. He was already showering. He just added English to the activity. This is the secret. You do not need to find time. You need to layer English onto the time you already have. Now, let's step away from Julian for a moment. I want to talk to you about a very common problem. It is called the intermediate plateau. A plateau is a flat area of land high up on a mountain. In learning, the intermediate plateau is when you stop feeling like you are improving. When you are a beginner, you learn fast. Every day you learn cat, dog, hello, thank you. You feel great. But when you reach the intermediate level, like B1 or B2, progress feels slow. You already know how to order food. You already know the past tense. You might feel stuck. Julian felt this way too. Remember when he was stressed about the printer? He felt like his English wasn't good enough, but he kept going. If you are on the plateau right now, do not quit. The plateau is actually a good place. It means you are consolidating your knowledge. Consolidating means making something solid and strong. You are moving words from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. You are building a deep foundation. How do you get off the plateau? You have to challenge yourself. You have to do things that are a little bit scary. Just like Julian accepted the promotion to team leader, you need to accept new challenges in English. If you only listen to easy stories, you will stay at the same level. You need to listen to things that are a little too fast. You need to read books that have some words you don't know. You need to try to speak, even if you make mistakes. Mistakes are the stairs you climb to reach the next level. Let's go back to Julian's notebook. He writes one final sentence at the bottom of the page. Consistency is more important than intensity. This is a powerful quote. Intensity is running a marathon once a year. Consistency is walking for 20 minutes every day. Intensity is studying for 10 hours on Sunday, and then doing nothing for 6 days. Consistency is studying for 15 minutes every single day. The person who studies 15 minutes every day will always win in the long run. Why? Because their brain is constantly active. They never let the English muscle get cold. Julian closes his notebook. He feels calm. He is not rushing anymore. He knows he has years to learn. He puts the notebook on the shelf. He walks to the window and looks out at the rain. The streetlights reflect on the wet pavement. It looks like a painting. He whispers to himself, "It is a beautiful night." He says it in English. He didn't translate it from his native language. He just felt it, and the English words came out. That is the magic. Now, I want to bring this entire journey together for you. We started this series with a question. Do you feel too busy to learn English? And I hope that now, after following Julian's life, you realize that busy is just a mindset. You have the time. You have the dead time waiting for the bus. You have the chore time washing the dishes. You have the quiet time before you sleep. Let's recap the small time, big progress method one last time. It has 3 simple rules. Rule number 1. Observe and narrate. Look at your world. Narrate what you see. The dog is walking. The sky is blue. I am chopping onions. Do this in your head as often as you can. It connects words to reality. Rule number 2. Listen in the gaps. Fill the empty gaps in your day with English audio. Podcasts, news, stories like this one. Put your headphones on when you are commuting or cleaning. Turn your passive time into active learning time. Rule number 3. Engage with people. Don't be afraid to speak. Ask for directions. Order your coffee in English. If you don't live in an English country, speak to yourself or find a partner online. Use the language to solve problems, like Julian did with the printer and the apology. If you follow these 3 rules, you will become fluent. It is inevitable. Inevitable means it cannot be stopped. It is certain to happen. I want to do one final visualization with you. This is the most important one. I want you to close your eyes, relax your shoulders, take a deep breath, in and out. I want you to imagine a version of yourself in the future. Maybe it is 2 years from now. You are at a party with people from all over the world. There is music playing. People are laughing. You are standing in the middle of a group. You are holding a drink. You are telling a story in English. You are not translating in your head. You are not searching for words. The words are just flowing out of you like water. You are making people laugh. You feel confident. You feel funny. You feel smart. Someone asks you a question, and you answer immediately. You feel a sense of total freedom. Hold that image in your mind. Feel the emotion of it. That feeling is your destination. That person is you. You are already on your way to becoming that person. Every time you listen to a video like this, you are taking a step closer to that party. Open your eyes. How did that feel? Keep that vision with you. When you feel tired, when you feel lazy, remember that future version of yourself. They are waiting for you. We are coming to the very end of our time together. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening. Creating these stories for you is my passion. I love helping you unlock the world of English. But this channel is a two-way street. I need your help to keep it going. If you have listened to this entire story, you are a superstar. I want you to leave a specific comment below. I want you to write, "I am ready for big progress." If I see that comment, I will know you listened to the very end, and I will personally heart your comment. Also, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel English in Fluency. Hit the bell icon so you get a notification every time I upload a new story. We have so many more topics to cover. We are going to talk about travel English, medical English, relationship vocabulary, and so much more. You don't want to miss it. And finally, share this video with a friend. Do you have a friend who is trying to learn English but feels frustrated? Send them this link. Tell them, "Hey, try this. It's called Small Time, Big Progress." You might be a lifesaver for them, just like Julian was a lifesaver for Liam. I am going to leave you with one final thought. Learning a language is not just about learning words. It is about learning a new way to see the world. As the famous saying goes, to have another language is to possess a second soul. You are building a second soul. You are expanding your mind. It is a beautiful, noble journey. Don't rush it. Don't stress about it. Just enjoy the small moments. Enjoy the coffee. Enjoy the bus ride. Enjoy the rain. And let the English flow. This has been a special long-form edition of English in Fluency. I am your host, Alex. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to learn. Keep listening, keep speaking, and keep moving forward. Until next time, take care of yourself, be kind to others, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye for now.